Hi everyone, welcome to Cupboard Creations. My name's Gareth, this is my little corner of the internet for playing with my food. Today I'm doing one of my favourite kind of springtime meals. Spring is in the air, so let's get cracking with this one. This is going to be my smoked salmon and broccoli frittata. Now, very easy to do this one. So we're just going to start off very quickly with our potatoes. So you want about 400 grams potato. I'm using little kind of baby ones here, but you can use full size ones, in which case sort of 2 medium potatoes would probably be about right. And you just want to chop these into little rings of about 1/2 centimetre thick. So nice little rings like that. Okay, so once you've got your potato, throw it in a saucepan, and then we're just going to put some boiling water on that and cook it for about 5 minutes or so until it's just starting to soften. So we're just going to add a little bit of salt, like so. Then I'll get that one on the heat. Okay, so the potatoes are doing. Just make sure you use a fairly good sized saucepan for it. You'll see in a minute, because we're going to use some broccoli with this. We've got 100 grams of broccoli here. What we're just going to do with this, chop the little woody bits of ends off, and then once that's had 5 minutes in the pan, we're just going to whack these in for 2 minutes more, just to kind of soften them a little bit. So that's why you need a little bit more room in that pan, just so you can fit those in. So that's my broccoli already. Potatoes are doing. I'm going to put some tomatoes in this. I'm going to chop these up really small. I'm going to have little nuggets of kind of sweet tomato running through it. Really lovely. So for this, just want to quarter it, and you don't want your seeds because it's going to add too much liquid. So we're just going to pop those seeds out. Okay, once you've got your tomatoes all de-seeded, let's say just nice and sort of thin strips, about 1/2 centimetre thick, same as you did potatoes. And we're just going to chop those into little cubes. There we go, just nice thin little strips like that. And cross those across. So you've got little nuggets, like so. So tomatoes all chopped. Now we just want a small handful of parsley here. Just going to make probably about a good 2 or 3 tablespoons once it's all chopped up. We're just going to give that a rough chop. So last thing we want to do is that egg mixture that's going to bring that frittata together and kind of hold it all. So we just want 4 eggs for this one. So I'm going to attempt to crack these on camera and not get any shell in. Best of luck. I have a feeling I may have just failed at the first hurdle. Back to it. Number 2. So they're all there. Just want to give them a good beat up. Thought I saw a bit of shell then. I'm clean. Lovely. So to that, just want to add some salt and black pepper. Just season it nicely. And by seasoning it here, that egg, once the frittata's cooking, will just take all of that seasoning all through the rest of the food. So it's nice, you don't need to then individually season every bit. Just going to whisk that in there. And then we're going to, for the same reason, just throw the parsley in. Again, that will just help to take it all throughout. Give that a mix in. There we go, hands covered in parsley. But now, almost everything we've got there is ready. Only last ingredient, and the biggest ingredient, smoked salmon. Now, I absolutely love cooking with this stuff. It's kind of weird because you can eat it raw, you know, well it's not raw, it's smoked. But when you use the smoked salmon and you cook it, you just get this real intensity of flavour. So we're going to use here 1 pack, so like 100 grams smoked salmon. Now we've got part of the pack in it. It's no good. So all you're going to do here, just break it up into little nuggets. Nice and rough. So there you go, that's it. All my ingredients, all prepped. With any luck, it's taken about 5 minutes and potatoes should be ready. So let's head over and we start putting everything together. Okay, that's looking great. Give them sab, yeah, they're perfect. So now just grab that broccoli, just pop it in on top. Whack the lid on. We're just going to give that 2 minutes more, just to soften that broccoli down a bit. We'll then take it out, give it a chop down, so it's all ready with the other ingredients to fry it off. Okay, so broccoli and potatoes are finished. We're just going to drain them off, which we've done, and then we're just going to let them sit there and steam for a bit. What that will do is a lot of that water that's still within the potatoes, it will just steam off nicely. When it comes to cooking these in the pan, as little liquid as possible is for the best, because you're going to get a nice crispier outside. It's not going to be sort of swimming in water at the bottom. So we're just going to get your broccoli out with your asbestos fingers. If not, get yourself a pair of tongs. Add up one top. And then we're just going to chop those down. Now, that's why I'm using tenderstem broccoli here, because it's easier, it's nice and long. Not to say you can't use normal broccoli, it will work. Just going to have to chop it down a little bit. It's going to be a little bit harder to chop down. So, just going to grab these and very roughly just going to chop through any like big bits you got left over, chop them in half. So you're looking for little small, probably a centimetre long little nuggets. And there we go. We're all ready to finish it all off. Okay, so here we go. First off, in a pan. Doing this in a cold pan because I'm going to be fiddling around with it with my hands, and as much as I can pick up fairly hot broccoli, putting it straight into a hot frying pan, not so good. I'm just going to put a little bit of olive oil in the bottom. Probably about a tablespoon or so. Use any oil. Using olive oil because it's an Italian meal. Olive oil seems right. Then we just want to chuck our potatoes in. Like so. This is so simple. Then everything else. So just whack your tomatoes in, whack your broccoli in. Throw some of it on the floor. And then we just want to mix that around a bit. All that potato is still pretty warm. So we get a good, nice, even mix. Looking good. And then our salmon. The reason I always put this one in slightly separately to the rest is because it is quite oily and it does clump up a little bit. So this way I can just spread it out nice and evenly. Again, just toss it in with your hands. Get some to the bottom, some halfway through, some of it not even in the pan. So there we go. Now you just want to kind of flatten it down if you can. So there we go, we've got a nice even mix there. And then all of this potato, or as much of it as possible, is kind of lying horizontally. Just means it's much better when you cut through it, you get those lovely little layers of potato. So there we go, all laid up nicely. Now let's just crank that heat up. And when you start to hear it kind of sizzling a little bit at the bottom, that's when we're going to put the egg mixture in. So I'm just going to let that heat through. There we go, so I don't know if you can hear that, I don't know if the microphone's good enough, but that is nicely heating, you can hear the sizzle. Now just take your egg mixture and pour that all over the top. There we go. Give it a bit of a move around. Crank your heat up, and then we're just going to keep that cooking. So we're probably going to cook it about 4 minutes each side. And that should then give us a perfect frittata. Okay, so it's 4 minutes are up. Still looks quite terrifying because there's a lot of egg just sitting on the top that isn't yet cooked. But that's fine, that's exactly what we want. Now we've got to do something pretty, even more terrifying, which is somehow get it onto this plate. So we'll just leave the gas on. We just want to slide it as quickly as we can onto there. If it gets a bit messy like this just did, don't worry too much. And then what you want to do is put it over the top like that and then flip it. With any luck, we can take that off, give it a bit of a shake. Your frittata is back in your pan. So if it's looking a little bit like it's bent around a bit, just give it a bit of a press down. Just give it a squeeze down in case it's ruffled up a bit. For that egg at the bottom will kind of seep through, cook it, reform it. Just keep it on that medium heat. 4 minutes more on the other side. Be perfect. Okay, 4 minutes up. We're going to turn that one off. And then this is where you need to make a decision. If you're going to present this to people, look at your top. Do you like the look of the top? If you do, slide it out onto a plate. If you're brave and think the underside might be better, grab whatever you're going to serve it on. We do the same as we did to kind of turn it halfway through, whack that on top, flip it out. Lovely. So there we go, there's my frittata. Say, just slice through it. Serve it, nice side salad on a spring day. Looks like spring is coming, finally. And just enjoy it. So, I hope you give it a go. I hope you do enjoy it. And I'll catch you next time. Cheers.